Hey everybody, Ken here. It's lantern time again, and we're doing another video out here. And I got some good news for you guys. I was able to get the videos off of my phone for that CT ham. Remember I told you guys I shot a lot of video? Well, it turns out I bought myself one of these little SanDisk iXpand things, and it makes things a whole lot easier for using an iPhone and editing on a regular Windows computer. So actually my cameraman editor suggested that, and he was able to do that for me. So yeah, we'll be able to see what I did. But before that, I also have been working on my Vesta, and I wanted to show that off. I mean, in the last video I said I wasn't able to operate the wick. Well, if you can kind of see that now, look at that. Look at, if you can get in on that, look at that wick operating real nice and fine there. Look at that. Now I should have filmed what I did to fix that. I was actually going to try to get another burner from Kirkman, but they're actually on back order right now. So I thought, well, hey, it's not working anyway, let me fool around with it. So basically explain what I did is I actually had to take a little needle file and open up a very small slot in there where I was able to expose the shaft that goes around the gears. And it took a little bit of epoxy glue. I got this really good epoxy glue that I got a few years ago. Actually, I used it on a canoe. It's supposed to be for metal, bond to metal really good. So and also I did a test to see if it was going to be fuel proof. So I took the residual and mixed it up on a little scrap piece of tin here, and this is the actual batch that I used, and I threw it in some clean heat, and I had it in there for 24 hours. In fact, I still got the glass jar here. I emptied it out, but yeah, didn't touch the stuff. Still hard as a rock, because I know that's going to be getting wet in there from the little backscatter of the wick. But nonetheless, it was a little bit of a project. Like I said, just a tiny little slot, and then covered up the hole with some aluminum or some metal HVAC tape. Didn't have any of that. I had to buy a whole roll of that just to cover up that little surgical slit in there. But turns out, yeah, working perfectly. So why don't I give that a quick light up, and I'll show you guys how good I got that working now. I can actually adjust it very, probably would help if my lighter was working. Ah, there we go. Look at that. Now it's too high, I can crank it down and close it up. And look at that. I can raise it up, lower it down, raise it up. It's working just perfectly. So yeah, I'm real happy with that. Like I said, very minimal damage, just a little surgical slit. But yeah, pretty cool. So we'll go ahead and roll the footage of what I took now on that CT ham. Stay with me, and then I'll come back and I'll show it off. Alright guys, so I'm back out here on my makeshift workbench again, and we're going to do an assessment of another lantern that I got from Jacktown, this one being the CT ham. Now, I didn't really show the other one in too much detail, being the Defiance #0 before I started working on it, so I'm going to give you a once over of this CT ham here, which is in a little worse shape, I think, than the Defiance was. Rust-wise, it's about the same. I mean, this is pretty much what we were looking at with that Defiance. I'm not too scared of that. I think we can bring that back, but it's going to need quite a bit more work. I mean, as you can see, the crown took quite a bit of a bend. I do think there's a crack. Let's see, right here there might be, yeah, there's a small crack. I don't know if that's going to need to be resoldered. And we got quite a bit of bending here on the globe plate, the wire guards, And also it's missing a bracket for the lift mechanism right here. So right here, yeah, I'm gonna have to straighten that out and clean this up and solder in a new bracket, which I should be able to do because I have another very similar lantern. I'll just copy that, duplicate it, and hopefully we can get that matched up and back on. But here it is, just as found. And I guess one of the best things about it is, believe it or not, somehow the cap is free on this. The cap spins, so it's not seized. So worst case scenario, if the burner is seized, at least I'll be able to pour some my magic solution, my 50/50 acetone and transmission fluid in there, put it upside down and free up the burner. But yeah, so this is what I'm dealing with to start. So let me get busy, and then I'll shoot these videos one by one, and hopefully we'll be able to make some progress. Okay, so as you can see, I was able to get the burner out. Burner is out. Wasn't really stuck, although the cone was pretty stuck. I had to pry that out. And the cone is brass, by the way. It's got a little dent right here. That could probably be straightened out. Not too big of a deal, but this thing is just utterly disgusting. I wonder if it was in like somebody's basement near a dryer or something, because upon a little further investigation, it seems to be this thing was like covered with lint, and it is actually bare metal right here. We're like this. Look, if I scrape away this, I don't know if this is dryer lint or what, but look at this. Watch what happens when I scrape this stuff away. It's too bad the whole lantern wasn't covered with this stuff. It's actually only in the corners. And the rest is surface rust. But right where all this lint stuff is, it actually looks like it protected the lantern for many, many years. And this thing, you probably can't see inside, but yeah, this thing just was loaded with orange powder when I dumped it upside down. All rusty orange oxide powder just came out, a whole bunch. And I'm noticing there's a lot of lint like right here. I wonder if that's going to be, well, we're going to need a lot of cleaning. And like I said, I just got the globe plate kind of hanging off to the side here because there's no support for it here. I'm gonna have to investigate making that piece, but let's get busy and see what else we can come up with. Well, okay, upon a little further investigation and a little more cleaning, unfortunately we got some bad news. But I don't know if it's a showstopper though. Look at our bottom here. In fact, look at the holes in the bottom. You can see clear through to the table there. We got the old potato chip syndrome, as I call it. But, let me just hold this a minute. But, the positive side is, I think the outer ring, or I should say the outer part of the inner ring is sound. If you notice, there's a step down here, which might allow me to just solder a whole new flat bottom piece right into this. Or, I mean, I don't know how far, it might actually be sound out to here. I don't know. I'm gonna need a little more investigating, but the bottom it just feels very light until you get to about here to the reinforced ring. I may just have to end up just replacing this part with a new bottom, which, like I said, is not a showstopper. Nothing beyond my scope yet, but it is cleaning up. There's an awful lot of solder. That's what it is. It's actually solder down here. I thought it was metal. Well, it is metal, but it's solder. Now, I don't know if this is original to the lantern or if somebody really just went at it with the solder. And this is not my doing. I'm just getting there, and I do notice, looks like I'm gonna have some patent dates. Was I looking at patent dates? I don't know. I thought I saw something. Yeah, I thought I saw something stamped down there, but maybe it was on this side. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. Now I'm looking on camera here. I'm not seeing it. Maybe I'll have to investigate a little further, but this is an earlier model ham than the one I have. But I did investigate that little part that's missing, and it's basically just a duplicate of the little ring tab on this side, which will slide right in there. No big deal. I can fix that. I've already straightened out the globe wires here for the most part. That's salvageable, and yeah, I'm going to keep on working. I'm going to do what I can do to resurrect this thing, so stay with me. Okay guys, so I'm out here. It's almost nighttime and I'm continuing on with the lantern here. What I did is I cleaned up the globe plate the best I could for now. I did a rough job on it, actually, both sides, top and bottom, before I made the repair here. The bracket. Here's the new bracket, actually. If we can get a closer look at that. I have to clean the solders up yet. Yeah. What I did is I actually found a washer that was like perfect size that took solder. And I just soldered it in. And I mean, it looks pretty much similar to that. So yeah, so I think we got a good repair there. The first of 2 or 3 more to go. But yeah, it's getting there. It is getting there. Alright, so it's another night. I'm back out here working on the lantern again. I popped the crown off and I got the tabs straightened out there. They were all bent over. And there's the crown. I have the de-rusting solution on it there. The Rust-Oleum rust dissolver. And look at the pull tab on that. That's coming up real nice. That's brass. Didn't even know that was brass. That was just so tarnished. And I got a little straightening out to do on that. Use the old jeweler's hammer there to take the bend out of that. And then hopefully, so far I haven't broken any of the crown tabs. I'm hoping to just straighten this thing out and put it back on there. But yeah, I'll let the rust dissolver keep dissolving there. It says it takes like 30 minutes for best results, but we'll see how it does. Alright, so we're back at the lantern here. It's a very sunny, windy Saturday morning here, and I'm working on the crown. Unfortunately, I broke off one of the crown tabs here, trying to put it back on, but that's kind of par for the course on a 100-year-old plus lantern. I mean, I figured that was going to happen anyway. But yeah, I mean, I got it all cleaned up pretty good. I got the brass nice and shiny there. I got most of the rust off of it. I gave it a shot of flat black underneath just to inhibit some of the rust from underneath. And we're going to put a new crown tab on, and we're going to, I think while I'm at it, I'm going to reinforce the old ones here with some solder so that they fold better when I put it back on and don't break off. So let's get on with it. Alright, so we are back in the magic of the camera here. What seems like a minute was probably about a half hour, and it's windy as anything out here. But I got Humpty back together here finally. Now I gotta admit, probably wasn't my best job. I don't know why. It's still a little crooked, but it's a lot better than it was before. And like I said, this thing is probably just going to end up being a survivor. You know, it's not going to win any beauty contests, so I'm happy with it. It's nice and solid, and I mean, well, if I had another free hand, if I wasn't holding the camera, I'm able to pull this up nicely with the pull tab, and works fine. And yeah, you know, it's got, like I said, it's got a lot of solder down here. It's kind of an ugly lantern anyway, but what I'm gonna do is give it a good clean up. That'll probably have to be for next week's video, and get some WD-40 on it. And well, actually, yeah, another project that I got to address is the bottom. Still got some holes in the bottom. That doesn't concern me because I've done plenty of those before. I know I'll be able to fix that, but we will get it back in action. But I think that's going to be a wrap for now, and then put the rest of it in the next video. And here we have the finished product. I'm really happy the way this came out. I decided just to leave it kind of raw. Not going to paint this one because I don't think it would make a whole lot of difference with all the solder on there. But what I did is I took it down, you know, cleaned it up the best I could, got rid of all the loose rust, and put a coat of boiled linseed oil on it and sat it out in the sun for a few hours and let it kind of evaporate and dry, and polished up the brass just to a minimum, you know, just to make it look still antique. I didn't want to really you know, do it up. Got the dent out of the cone. I forgot to mention that probably in the footage, but I just took an open-end wrench, actually, somewhat similar to the diameter, and kind of just massaged it out. It was, you know, just brass. It's real soft, so I was able to get that back to its pretty much original shape, and yeah, it works. Seems to work real nice. I got the lift mechanism working real nice here. Got the replacement part there, the washer that I soldered. That was missing. That was just the metal was just hanging there. Trying to think what else. Got the yeah, the replacement tab. Well, you see that in the video, but yeah, I think it came out really nice. Why don't we give this a light up, and we'll show this guy off here. Probably, yeah, the veil's probably in the way. There we go. But yeah, monster flame on it. These old number 2s, they just have like a 2-inch wide flame. It's just an unbelievable flame on the thing. Really good. I gotta say, they're probably becoming my new favorite style of lantern. These number 2 old cold blast, the Rayos, the Priscos, now I got the Ham here. Just a wonderful lantern, really is. Oh, and the bottom. Yeah, I guess I should try to show off the bottom. I don't know if we can get a shot of that, but I got fuel in it. I'll try to pitch it just a little bit, but yeah, you'll see it's got the new piece of metal in there. But like I said, fortunately, it was only the very, you know, it was like the very center of the bottom, so I just cut a piece, you know, big enough for the diameter, basically of almost the whole flat part. And what I did is I just used Seal-Aw. I took a Dremel and I just roughed up everything. Actually, mainly the new metal, not the lantern. The lantern was plenty roughed up already with the rust. I just cleaned off the rust, but I just took the sanding wheel and I just went back and forth, put a whole lot of lines and grooves on the thing, and then cleaned it off real good with some alcohol. Put some seal. Actually, turned out it worked good. I had I usually buy the Seal-Aw in 2-ounce tubes, but a while ago I bought them and they showed up in 1-ounce tubes, and opened one of those up, and it was kind of on its way out. It wasn't really that liquidy. So it wouldn't have been good to use on the inside, but I figured, well, it's probably good to stick something. So I ended up using that on the outside, stuck the metal plate on the outside, let that dry really good, And then I took a 2-ounce tube, put the whole 2-ounce tube on the inside, so it's being held on by both sides. Not going anywhere. I've had fuel in the thing for a couple days now. Hasn't leaked a drop. Hasn't done anything. So real happy with the way it came out. So yeah, I'll be taking this outside probably shortly, and yeah, I haven't used it outside yet, but it's bright. I could tell it's real nice and bright, and yeah, I'm real happy with it. So stay tuned, and we're going to start another project again real soon. But thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you with my next video. Bye bye for now.